Hi, welcome back to In the Park. Sticking with tradition, we're bringing our chilly weather episodes from right here in our cabin in the park. This episode's really jam-packed with entertaining information about the going-ons at Lincoln Park. We're your hosts. I'm Ella Craig.
And I'm McKenna Ross. We're kicking off a recurring regular segment called LP Alumni, where we'll bring you in-depth interviews with Lincoln Parkers who are moving into their passions and careers, laser focused on success.
LPTV students, they're the underclassmen group in technical media classes, recorded an informative segment about the proactive approach Lincoln Park has in overseeing students with type 1 diabetes.
We were ignorant of the subject until we heard the pitch for this segment. Then we knew we had to bring the particulars to our viewers. Rounding out this episode of In the Park, of course, Tino Time is back. Okay, get us started, Ella.
First up, we're highlighting one of our pretty well-known clubs. It's called Vibrant Shades. Their founder, their advisor, and one of their officers sat down with the segment host, Isaiah Rutherford, to talk about the mission of Vibrant Shades.
We truly believe anyone connected to Lincoln Park should see this.
Today I'm here with senior writing and publishing major, Jade Davis, who founded the club last year, and Miss Wilbrack, the Vibrant Shades teacher advisor. I'm also joined by theater major, Tia Schaefer. What activities and efforts does Vibrant Shades put forth or sponsor?
Vibrant Shades does a lot of different events. Our most recent was Spotlight, where we had student performers and we had vendors as well as Rainbow Roast going. We also frequently do Rainbow Roast. That's every Friday. That's the coffee shop in the atrium. We've gone on field trips. We plan on going on more field trips. We had some mental health days last year, which were like after school activities. We're hoping to have some more after school activities, like guest speakers.
How does Vibrant Shades allow you to connect with your personal identity?
I grew up in an area that was predominantly white, and it wasn't really open to a lot of my viewpoints. So having a sense of community that is really accepting of the LGBTQIA plus community and other communities has really helped me feel supported and loved.
I also grew up in an area that wasn't very accepting. I remember students getting bullied for being themselves. I actually ended up coming out twice because when I first came out, I didn't feel supported. And then when I came here to Lincoln Park, I felt a little bit more supported. And I think that joining Vibrant Shades is just helping me be involved in my community and have opportunities to make even our school that is very populated with LGBTQ plus people, even more supporting and open.
The overall environment and community of Vibrant Shades is one of acceptance. We try to make it as inviting as possible and make sure that everyone feels welcome. That's the goal of our club, is to make sure that everyone's welcome and everyone has a place to feel safe within the school.
Why is it important to have a club like Vibrant Shades at Lincoln Park?
We are so blessed with the opportunity of having a population of people that do fit into the community and being able to really truly showcase that, because at other school districts they wouldn't be as accepting of talking about sexual orientation or gender identities. So I really think we should take this opportunity as we can to really advocate for our community.
As we do have a large LGBTQ plus community here at Lincoln Park, I do think it is important to notice that doesn't mean that we are a perfect school. Luckily, we do have a lot of faculty and everyone who are much more accepting than regular public schools. But I definitely think that just because we have a large community doesn't mean we aren't affected by other students here, and that homophobia is not existent here. But I definitely think having the faculty and everything really does help Vibrant Shades do what it can do.
Jade Davis, what is the Rainbow Roast and what inspired it?
Rainbow Roast is Vibrant Shades' coffee shop that we have every Friday now, and the inspiration for that was we wanted a way to be able to make money in order to have more resources to support our club, for example with field trips and for any expenses we need for any of our activities. So we thought it would be easy to have a coffee shop because we do have a bar and no one was really using that, so we thought it would be something that others could truly enjoy but also benefit our club as well.
What was the motivation and mission behind founding Vibrant Shades?
I was in a lot of activism groups in my free time, and I really saw the correlation with other issues such as environmental racism and how that really truly correlated with the LGBTQ plus community. And I knew that if I brought that to Lincoln Park and I was able to share some sort of group that could really advocate for these issues that are really multifaceted, could really benefit our school and our students that are really interested in advocating.
What was the process of creating the club and getting it approved by administration?
I had to talk to the principal and ask what they needed. And first I had to create a document, which was all of like the beliefs, all of what the club was truly about in this document. And then after, I had to find an advisor and someone that would support this, some adult or teacher. So then I talked to Miss Wobrak about that, and she agreed to help me do so. And then after that, it was a matter of creating a poll and finding and seeing if students in our school would be open to having a club such as Vibrant Shades. And after that, it was really up to the administration to approve it.
Has being a teacher advisor of Vibrant Shades influenced your role as a teacher at Lincoln Park at all?
Being the teacher sponsor of Vibrant Shades has helped, because now students I've never had before, they come to me and I've already had them in the club, so they already feel connected to me and I can get through to them more than students I don't know.
Tia, what are the teams of Vibrant Shades and what do they do?
So there are 5 teams in Vibrant Shades. There is social media team, which they take care of our Instagram, and we do have a TikTok. We haven't posted on it yet, but they take care of all of that, which they keep all of our supporters and students within the club updated on the events that are happening. We also have public relations, which focuses on student concerns and activism within the community, and kind of focuses on what we would like to do to better our community. We also have creative team, which focuses on more of our visual art. They work on posters. Sometimes they help our social media. We had creative team help us with the posters for Spotlight. They did most of the Spotlight graphics. Then we have mental health team, which is one of our largest teams. They try to focus on mental health and mental illness within our club. They also put on events such as mental health days, where it kind of just brings our club together to kind of bond outside of club meetings. Then we have events team, which is led by me. We put on Spotlight, and we focus on any events that happen within our club. We plan on putting on other events in the future, such as possibly a dinner for our members. We also have finance team, which is just Billy Apt, and he takes care of our finances.
Thank you so much for your time today. I can't wait to see what this club does this year, and I've never been more excited to be a part of Lincoln Park's very own Vibrant Shades.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Isaiah. Vibrant Shades plans to have 2 Spotlight events each year.
Our LBTV students, I think we mentioned earlier, they are our underclassmen in television tech classes. Pitch this next segment to us.
It falls into the, wow, I definitely didn't know any of this stuff category. Take a look.
Hi, Mrs. Statler, Emily, and Mrs. Malia. Thank you for coming out to bring awareness on diabetes and the impact that it has on the Lincoln Park community.
Hello, thank you for having us. You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Could you give us a brief history of the disease?
The biggest change was when the discovery of insulin in 1923 by doctors Banting and Best, who won a Nobel Prize for that, changed the way type 1 diabetes was managed. And it went from having a death sentence to being able to live a healthy life with insulin.
Now that insulin has been adapted into common use, it is not perfect, but living with diabetes is a lot easier than it was even just 10 years ago.
Mrs. Malia, can you share with us how Emily's diagnosis has affected you and your family?
Yes, well, type 1 diabetes, the diagnosis of Emily has caused a lot of problems in our lives. It's an intrusion in everything, everyday living. It's always there, 24/7. It goes with us on vacations. It goes with us to work and school, and just everything is affected by it. So we've had to really adapt our whole lifestyle to be able to go with it and make things work for our whole family.
Emily, what do you recall about your diagnosis?
Well, looking back on my diagnosis, I was very young. I was 4 years old. And from what I can remember, it was a strange experience because it specifically happened around Christmas time. And I remember driving to the hospital, not knowing what was going on, but having an understanding that something really bad had happened to me. And on that drive, seeing the beautiful snow and the Christmas lights was a really polarizing feeling. It was such a cheerful atmosphere with such uncertainty looming over me. It was a very confusing time, especially for someone as young as I was. And I think about it a lot.
How is Lincoln Park proactive in accommodating students, and what do those accommodations help you achieve?
Lincoln Park, first and foremost, we follow what the law states. American Disabilities Act, we have to follow certain things. So there's two different ways we do that. One's called a 504 plan, which is a legal binding agreement on accommodations that are required. The second, which I do, is a little more laid back. They call it an IHP, a health plan. And those are shared with the teachers, so they're aware of what the diagnosis is. And this is all, with agreement with the parent and the student, what health information is shared with teachers. It's usually just the necessary information. So the accommodations we put in there, it explains what the disease is, how it affects their not only daily living but their education. So we put in accommodations such as with a diabetic, they need to have snacks, they need to check their blood sugar. Sometimes if their blood sugar is high or low, not to take a test that day because that can affect their grades. But all those are listed in agreement. The parent signs it, an administrator signs it, I sign it, and we are binded to that. Now I always believe Lincoln Park goes above and beyond, and we really do work with parents and students to make sure we're doing anything we can to make it a positive learning experience. So for Emily, there's certain things in the classroom, like what would you say is helpful for you in your accommodations?
Well, I have things like this box has a bunch of equipment inside of it that I use, not daily, but there are certain things that I'll use, snacks, things of that nature. But also being able to do something as simple as testing in the classroom. Previous schools that I've been in, that was a struggle to get that allowed, and teachers would be strict and they'd say you have to go to the bathroom or you have to do this, and something as simple as that, something I need to do many times a day, every day, trying to restrict that. Most schools, they don't want kids to be different in that they have these accommodations, but Lincoln Park definitely goes above and beyond to help and lift up those students who need that to thrive.
What steps can we take to educate, dispel misconceptions, and promote information about diabetes?
I think there's a lot of information that can be shared with the public. I think there's a lot of misconceptions between the cause of diabetes. It's not from eating too much sugar and that kind of thing. There's a difference between type 1 and type 2, insulin dependent, non-insulin dependent, how to control them. I think it's just understanding the whole realm of diabetes and how it affects that single person's life and those around them, that could really be shared with more people so they understand.
When I was younger, there was a lot of bullying, a lot of misunderstanding, not understanding why I need candy in class, things young kids don't understand, which was very annoying to say the least, growing up. And now it's mostly just people of all ages not understanding this disease and not realizing how big of a deal it is, thinking it's something, nothing to worry about. Some people even believe that it has a cure or it just goes away by its own, which obviously is not true. That's not even to mention the costs of things.
Yes, we'd like to educate the public on the high cost of diabetes, and there are actually people with type 1 diabetes who don't use their insulin properly because they can't afford it. And it's becoming a real issue. In fact, there are some laws in the process to put a cap on insulin right now, but there's like many other supplies that are just so astronomically expensive to manage this disease. So we would just like the public to be aware of that. Maybe if they would like to donate to type 1 diabetes research. And I think that's about it. Right?
All right, guys, thank you so much. It was really needed. I'm glad we can get some information out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Lincoln Park administration is saving this segment to be shared with incoming students with type 1 diabetes.
The definition of success is a favorable or desired outcome. Over the 17 years that Lincoln Park has been open, there have been a remarkable number of graduates who have gone on to real success. So in this episode of In the Park, we're introducing an ongoing series we call LP Alumni. For the first installment, we interviewed 2 graduates, Adam Forrester, a 2014 graduate, and Lauren Watkins, a 2017 graduate.
There are 2 very different stages of success, having taken 2 very different paths. Here's Lucy Palmer and Nick Gelston with their interviews.
Hi, I'm Lucy Palmer, and today I'm here with Adam Forrester, a Lincoln Park alumni, to ask him some questions about what he's been up to since graduation. So hi, Adam, welcome. When did you graduate Lincoln Park, and from which department did you graduate?
I graduated from Lincoln Park in 2014 in the Media Arts department.
Okay, so did you stick with media arts or anything similar to that when you moved on to your college experience?
Yeah, when I went to college, I actually majored in visual communication design, which is very comparable to a graphic design program. And then from there, I actually switched into fashion merchandising.
All right, so where did you attend college?
I attended college at Kent State University in Ohio.
And how long did you study there?
I studied there for 4 years, a normal undergraduate amount.
And when was your graduation year?
I graduated in 2018.
So did you feel that having your Lincoln Park education kind of gave you a leg up on other students when you were studying at Kent?
Yeah, my Lincoln Park education definitely gave me a leg up. It gave me a lot of exposure to softwares that I utilize every day in my career, as well as in college. So I felt like I already knew a lot of the programs that people were just learning out of school. So it really definitely helped me.
That's great. What made you change your original major to your minor? Do you feel like it would have been because of burnout from being at Lincoln Park for so long and already studying?
I changed my original major to my minor mainly because I always had a passion to work in fashion design from a young age, but I felt like it just took me that amount of time to kind of get there. I definitely was still able to use all the skills from the graphic design field in fashion, which helped me even more. And I still also did graphic design work on the side, like freelance jobs and things like that.
Absolutely, I'm so glad to hear that. After graduating, now what is your current profession?
My current profession after graduating is Reebok Men's Designer 2 for men's fashion design.
So do you work remotely for the company, or are you able to work in a corporate office for them?
I do work remotely for the company. I do have to travel to Boston twice a month for fittings and different important meetings.
And did you have any internships to help prepare you for that?
Yes, I had many internships to help prepare from freshman year of college and on. I made sure I even had some during the summer as well.
Do you feel like you still pull things from what you've learned at Lincoln Park in your current profession?
There was a class I had with Miss Patton where she taught us basically how to use the pen tool, and we had to create an artwork where we continuously had a line with the pen tool, and it made you really comfortable with that. And the pen tool now is almost like a third appendage to me.
And is there anything that you would have done differently at your time at Lincoln Park to help prepare you for your future career?
If there was anything differently I could have done while here, it would definitely would have been to just be involved more with the arts. I would have been in more shows, I would have tried to sing or dance or something where I could have just expressed myself outside of even the media side of things. So,
do you have any advice for any aspiring designers who may be here?
Yeah, if I had advice for an aspiring designer, I would definitely say, is it your passion that you're making your career? Or do you want your career to be something that comes easily to you and your passion is on the side? I think that's something that I sometimes struggle with, in that when you're creative, you're asked for so many things for somebody else that you kind of lose touch of what you really love doing at times. I do love what I do. I do love designing for menswear and working for Reebok, but then at times it's like, when is it going to be time for me to kind of do my own thing, you know? So I think that if you're going to go into creative field, just make sure you're doing something that you're okay with doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Thank you so much for being here, Adam.
Of course.
Today I am with Lauren Watkins, an alumna of Lincoln Park at the Pittsburgh office of Jackson Lewis. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's a lovely day and I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you guys here.
When did you attend Lincoln Park and what was your major?
I began my journey at Lincoln Park in 2012. I came in as a part of the first 7th grade class. So I was there from 2012 to 2017, and I was there until 2017 instead of 2018 because I actually had the ability to graduate early. When I was at Lincoln Park, I started off my first 2 years there as a theater major, and then when I became a freshman, I changed majors into the health science department.
Did Lincoln Park prepare you for college, and do you think maybe it might have given you an upper hand against students who maybe did not attend a major-based school?
So I think we can start with talking about my major. I, again, was in the theater department, and then I changed into health sciences, and I use neither of those in my day-to-day life. But I think that's a really good point, is that, you know, just because you start something, right, you start somewhere, you pick a certain major, that doesn't mean you have to continue it, right? When you get into college and you know, you start with a major that you think you're interested in, and then you end up, you know, not liking it, or you're not being interested anymore, and you find something else of interest. And that's kind of what happened here.
After graduating Lincoln Park as a health science major, where did you go to college and what did you major in?
So after I graduated from Lincoln Park, my first year in college, I actually was at Penn State Beaver. My first semester, I was a biology major, and I soon came to find out that that was not what I wanted to do. The course load just wasn't aligned with my interest, and my grades reflected that. So after my first semester, I quickly realized that I knew my heart wasn't in it. I changed my major to sociology at Penn State Beaver. And from there, I knew that this was where I was supposed to be. Following my first year, I transferred to Duquesne University, where I continued in sociology, and I also picked up a minor in psychology, and that was what I studied for the rest of my time at Duquesne.
And after graduating Duquesne with a major in sociology, did you pursue any further education after that?
I did. So I graduated in December of 2020, as I previously stated, from Duquesne, and I took a little bit of time off, and I worked during that time, and I was getting myself prepared for law school. So now I am in my second year of law school at the Thomas R. Klein School of Law of Duquesne University, and I absolutely love it.
And you're very busy, so outside of school and work, do you do anything with friends? Do you have like a good social life balance?
I think that it's important to have balance while you're, in law school and pursuing such a large degree, but sometimes I find myself, not having that, and I think that's the reality of it, and that's okay too. So just to make that known for students that are interested in the legal field, that sometimes you're not able to do it all, and that's okay.
When you graduate law school, what area of law are you planning on pursuing?
So I am planning on pursuing labor and employment law. If you would have asked me a year ago if I would have been in this area of law, I would have told you no. I'm not quite sure if I knew what I wanted to do when I started law school. There was definitely areas where I was interested in, and there's areas that after my first semester of law school, I never wanted to see again. But this was one of them that was kind of a shock to me. But once I got my internship with Jackson Lewis, I knew that this is where I wanted to be. And with labor and employment law, I am able to be hands-on with so many different areas of law. I see things like tort law and civil procedure, wage and hour, international law, immigration law. So there's so many sectors that cross with one another and make up labor and employment law.
That's awesome. And just to wrap up, do you have any advice for students who are maybe interested in pursuing a career in law or attending law school?
There are going to be days when you're ready to throw in the towel because it's hard, but the end is worth it, right? There are so many clients out there, and there are so many people out there that deserve to have an equal opportunity. So I would say that if you're interested in it, do it, because the legal system, needs more. And if you're watching this and you are interested in the law, you guys have the potential to be the future of our legal system. And so that makes me really happy. And I hope that, after watching this, you guys are excited about it.
Among the alumni we plan to reconnect with, there's Matt Fargo, a sports announcer who traveled the world with the Harlem Globetrotters.
The White House photographer, Ben Tuck, a number of well-respected people working right here at Lincoln Park. Hey, the list of successful graduates keeps on growing. And now, last but never least, channeling Eli Lishak
with this introduction. You know it, it's Tino Time.
What is this cord? Why is it? What? What is that noise? What's coming from the? What?
Hi, funny, your mom. Hi. Welcome to Tino Time. Welcome. Hi. Welcome to Tino Time. Tino. Guaranteed introduction. Now complete. Oh, hi. Oh, you startled me. Hi. Welcome to Tino Time.
Stop, please!
Hi, my name is Tino, and welcome to Tino Time. I'm back, baby. In this new edition of Tino Time, we're going to be taking you behind the scenes in an exclusive new Lincoln Park feature, Cafe Amore, which is Latin for art. And we are going to show you all the cool and nifty things that your students have been up to. But me, I can't go like this. It's too revealing. That's why we're going incognito. If anyone asks, it's me, Tino Time. I'm going undercover. You refer to me as Miami Beach Jones, the art critic, mate. That was my starring debut. They really got my nose. Wow. And the ears too. I like it. I mean, like, what the actual heck am I looking at right now? What is this? Get off the road, Grandpa. It's not even raining out. Why, they're umbrellas? You only need one. What is this? It's a blurry's artistic? I mean, Simone, if you're out there, your artwork sucks. She's probably a nice person. What else? Nice leaf, bro. Lame. Miami Beach. Nice to meet you. I'm judging you.
As always, thanks from all of us at In the Park.
We appreciate your support, suggestions, and comments. Bye.
Thanks again.